Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So today's video is going to be about what I wish I knew as a computer science major in college. I'm basically going to give advice to anybody who's thinking about CS or is currently majoring in it. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Meghana and I recently just graduated from the University of Maryland with a bachelor's degree in computer science and a minor in business analytics. Now that I've graduated just a few weeks ago, I can reflect back and think about my experience as a college student, and I can also offer you guys some advice. So let's get into my first piece of advice. One thing I'd say is to have a strict schedule for yourself, because once you get to college, there is a lot less structure than high school. In college, you just have classes scattered throughout the day, and there aren't as many classes as high school. So you have so much free time in between these classes. There is absolutely no structure and it's all you. I know some students think about whether they should even go to class, what classes they should take, should they watch the lectures at home. There's so many other things that you can do, and you really need to learn how to prioritize and plan out your schedule when you're in college. This transition from structure to no structure can be challenging for many students. I know it was challenging for me because I'm not gonna lie, when I started college, I still had a lot of my senioritis coming in from high school, so I know I didn't spend as much time doing work, studying. I was also wasting time and not being as productive because I'd work with this one group of friends and we would be studying. Instead of finishing my work really fast, even though it was really simple tasks, I'd be up until like 2 a.m. every day, and my sleep suffered because of this. So in order to tackle this, I suggest that you shift your mindset before you head to college so that you're more prepared for the difference that college brings you. You can do this by like watching YouTube videos of day in the lives as college students, and really make sure you prioritize your first year and get a good study schedule in, and make sure you do everything on time. So stemming off of the make sure you do everything on time, we're gonna go into my next tip for you guys, which is to never underestimate programming assignments and don't procrastinate. One tip I give you guys is to make sure to start all assignments well before the deadline. At least read through them, look at it, try it, because you can approach random bugs. They can be the smallest things. Like one time I forgot a semicolon and I spent a day trying to figure out where I made my mistake. When you don't wait for the last minute, you kind of allow yourself a little bit of buffer time. So that way, in case you run into bugs, then you have time to fix it and you're not stressed and worrying and thinking, oh my God, can I make it to the deadline? I know something I would do was to pretend that assignments are due 2 days before they actually are. So I'd have everything done beforehand. And when I did this, I had straight A's. And I also felt like I knew the content much better when I was doing everything early, because I was actually taking my time, making sure I was doing everything right and learning as I did it. It was easier to keep up, and also a lot of my friends would start their assignments last minute and then they'd come to me for help, and this also would reinforce my learning because I would be more prepared to help them if they needed anything. Another way you can stay on top of your work is also by utilizing that idle time between classes to finish up any assignments. When I did this, I had a lot more free time in the evenings because in the mornings, I know a lot of people tend to like chill between classes, walk around, sit in random libraries, go get food, or talk with their friends. This is an absolute waste of time. Find a library or like stay somewhere outside of your dorm or go back to your dorm and decide to finish up your work, because then you will be done with everything by the time the evening hits, and then you'll be free to go to the gym, get some physical activity in, hang out with friends. Another piece of advice I have is to use your TAs in classes, because a lot of times if you go to office hours and ask for TA help, if you're stuck on like projects or learning concepts, TAs will literally hold your hand and walk you through an assignment if you get lucky. Some TAs might be clueless, but most TAs like to help. I know personally, I kind of had an ego about going to TAs, and I've always wanted to like debug and find errors on my own because I felt like it made me a better programmer. But I know when I was stuck wasting time on bugs, Going to the TA could have helped and made the process a whole lot faster. So my next tip is, before you start a class in a certain language, I would review up on the language that class uses, because especially as you get to the upper level classes, a lot of times professors just expect you to know a certain language. For example, I took this Intro to Computer Vision class, and in that class we were using MATLAB, and I never used MATLAB in any of my courses before, and the professor kind of just expected us to know the whole entire language after 1 week. As resources, all the professor provided was like an info sheet on MATLAB and like all the different like documentation they have. It was one giant big PDF that they just emailed to us. And I was expected to know this information in like a week because we had like an assignment due the next week. So one thing that I recommend, especially in these upper level classes, is a week or two before, just like find a tutorial in whatever language that class uses and go through it so that you're more prepared and you'll be ready to start programming within your first week of class. Another tip I have is to take classes with friends. It's way more comforting to know that you have a friend with you in the class, because that way if you both are stuck, you can bounce ideas off of each other, you can help each other learn, and you can guide each other in the right path. It will also make going to class or lectures a whole lot less miserable. Going off of this, I have another tip, which is to make sure to involve yourself in clubs and on campus, because this way you can build your network, make new connections, find people with similar interests, make friends, most importantly. I know on campus, I involve myself mainly in intramural sports, and I also attended events that South Asian clubs at UMD would throw. The clubs you join don't have to be career oriented. You can join stuff that you're simply interested in so you can make friends and build connections around campus. But I do recommend joining like at least one career oriented club to like see how it's like, and that way you can also make friends with similar career goals. For example, at clubs you can find people who have connections or internship opportunities. Who knows, you might find somebody with a really cool personal project idea and you guys could work on it together and build something really cool, and it would be a great resume booster. Make sure to do personal projects in your free time and build up your portfolio, open up a GitHub account, and put like a whole bunch of things that you worked on your own. If you don't have ideas for personal projects, I just go on GitHub or Google Online and find open source repositories and try to replicate certain projects with your own twist on it. So that way you learn a lot more about a certain language and you're also able to showcase that you know how to build something. Personal projects are great resume boosters because that way recruiters who are looking at your resumes can really see your work in action and see that, oh, they do know how to use this code. So it helps you a lot to have personal projects. My next tip is to start looking for internships early on in college. So your freshman year, I know you might not have as much experience, but you should still try and put yourself out there and try applying to places to see what you can get. It's not expected that you get like big tech in your like first try. It's okay to start small and work your way up to those bigger companies. Having experience on your resume will make you more attractive to more companies and more people would be likely to hire you. I'd say the perfect time to start applying to places is from September until like November, December-ish, because that's kind of like when the last of the applications are. The earlier you apply, the better your chances are of getting an internship. I'd also recommend that you go to your school's career fairs and take advantage of the people there, because everybody who comes to those career fairs are looking to hire and they do have positions open. Also, having internship experience shows you your likes and dislikes, and it will actually show you if you even like computer science. Having prior internship experience also gives you something to talk about in interviews for any new positions that you're looking for. Internships can also lead to return offers, which is really helpful because then you can score a job straight out of college. Another thing I do to supplement your resume would be to learn languages in your free time. I know many computer science departments do not actually cover front-end programming, such as JavaScript, HTML, CSS. These are not part of the required coursework, but you'll find that it's often required to know within the industry if you want to be a front-end programmer or developer. This is because computer science programs usually tend to be more on the conceptual side and learning how certain topics work. It won't really be language based. You should be expected to learn languages on your own. Your school may offer elective credits to learn these languages, but it won't be required as your coursework. So one thing I recommend that you do is that in your free time, for example, in like summer break or winter break, I spend this time to like learn a new language and learn a new skill that you can add to your resume. You can also complete a quick project that showcases that you know this language, put it on your portfolio or GitHub, and have it for show. My next tip is to start LeetCode early on so that you're better equipped to cracking coding problems in interviews. For those of you who don't know what LeetCode is, it's basically a website which has a whole bunch of free coding problems that you can go through and solve them. And these are problems that you are likely to find on interviews. Most often, they test your knowledge on algorithms or certain data structures. So doing this will make you faster when it comes to those coding problems in interviews, and you'll be more likely to do better and land a job. One thing I'd like to emphasize is to attend your classes and to not skip them just because they're recorded or you'll get the notes from somewhere else or because you'll read slides. It's way easier to stay on track if you actually go to every single class, because then you don't have to play a game of catch up. The easiest way to go about this is to attend your lectures. If you have any questions or like doubts after, spend that time reviewing certain concepts so that you're caught up and ready for the next class. That way you don't lag behind and have to make up everything at once. So to end this video, if you use my tips, there probably won't be that many sleepless nights as you expect there to be. CS isn't that hard as long as you stay on top of your work. A lot of my tips will help supplement your resume and help you achieve that dream job or internship that you always wanted in college. I hope my advice was useful for you guys. If you guys have any other questions that you'd like answered, feel free to leave a comment down below. Thank you guys for watching my video. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you.